All right, now we have sound and visual. Yes, big hand to the technical guys. They're really making this thing happen. Woo! But okay, welcome to the Art and Tech Seminar here in Assembly 2012. We have a gentleman here from Rovio. You might have heard about this company. Rovio is also a big sponsor here in Assembly. And of course, one affiliate on ICDA Finland. But I think Rovio isn't always just birds and pigs, it's something else. Amazing Alex. If you haven't played, go and download it. But I'll let Kalle to tell the story behind Amazing Alex. So, Kalle.
Cool. Hi guys. So yeah, today I came here to talk to you about Amazing Alex. I was kind of wondering what kind of tack to take on this, because there are a million things you can tell about a game project. However, there are people who are way more skilled technically, artistically, aesthetically than myself. So what I decided to talk to you a bit about is that I thought that might be of interest to you is kind of the tale of what happened with Amazing Alex, which is actually a two-man indie game that is now world famous, and kind of go through the motivations of what each party did, so you'll have a better understanding what went on there. I'll tell a bit about myself. That's me. I have to go by the second name at work, but my roots basically in the game industry come from, well, assembly and the demo scene. I think I'm the most famous for being the guy who said kill all lights and audio the very first time. So that's me. That's my contribution to the demo scene. I worked in games media for 8 years, and 5 years ago I switched to development, sort of put your money where your mouth is moment, and right now I'm working as an executive producer at Rovio, meaning I look after multiple projects and franchises on a higher level. And from there we'll talk a bit about Rovio. So what's up with us? I mean, I'm sure most, if not all of you, have heard of the company on account of those birds and pigs that we used to do before there was Amazing Alex. Remember them, like 2011? But yeah, so I wanted to bring a couple of facts about Rovio that might be of interest to you that you might not be aware of. Since Angry Birds launched more than 2 years ago, in 2 years we've gone from 15 employees to 400, which is a dramatic amount of growth, and with that has come a lot of things. At the same time, we've seen Angry Birds grow at an unprecedented rate as an entertainment brand. So what's actually happened fairly naturally with us is that instead of sticking to our roots as strictly a game development company, we've transitioned into an entertainment company. And I know that kind of sounds pompous that we're an entertainment company, but what I mean with that is that we've actually taken on the franchises that we have and put them into all the media that we have available for us. And that means that we've actually had to ramp up in a lot of non-obvious places as well. For example, for the marketing material and some upcoming media projects we have an in-house animation studio of, I think we're at 50 people these days. At least that's where our, all right. That was ominous. Okay. In addition to that, we've also moved on to into licensing, merchandising, and retail. So a lot of our revenue also comes from the thousands and thousands of different products we have, clothing, plush toys, and whatnot. So that's been a major focus for us, and it has kind of been a self-sustaining loop. You know, we put out products there. They generate buzz for the games generate buzz for that, so it works to enhance itself. So it's been a necessity for us as well in order to not remain something other than strictly a games company as well. We even have a book department these days. We have egg recipe books and a lot of other things coming down the line. But the thing is, I'm not going to be talking to you about soft toys, but this is still the heart of our company. We are still about games. That is the seminal thing. That is where our IP is born. That's where the company is rooted in. And that is what we know best how to do. And, but we've had to kind of take a different tack on that as well. Rovio, in the old days, used to do a lot of one-shot games. They, put a game out, that's it, next project, next thing. However, with the way that the marketplace has been changing, it's not just putting out games. We treat our games as a service as well. That's a huge change from the past. We keep on updating these games. We are just recently, our Angry Birds Seasons got its Piglantis update. Our Angry Birds Space was updated with the Utopia thing, and just this week, Angry Birds Classic received power-ups, so we add new features to existing titles as well. We have a lot of teams in our game studio. One of the things that comes with growth like this is that we need to have a lot more specialization. I joined Rovio from a 15-man team, where if you knew how to do something, chances are you'd end up doing it, whether you liked it or not. More often, the latter. But right now, we actually have to have dedicated people who are specialized to their roles, which means, obviously, that we're able to hire specialists who are actually highly competent at the specific thing they do. We obviously do game development. We have our development teams who are making new games right now. Our teams that are updating the games that are out now, and we've got prototyping teams and whatnot. In addition to that, we have a significant post-production team. Nowadays, when we finish a game, when a game development team finishes a game, they hand it over to post-production, and they make sure it comes out on all the platforms with all and hits all the necessary marketplaces. And we have a technology team, making sure that we remain nimble on that front. Our quality assurance team, we have those both internally and externally, and we've even started ramping up heavily on the business intelligence side, so that we have some idea of what is happening in the marketplace as well. Just a bit more about the business side. We're also not strictly developing games and putting those out. We have other ways that we're working with these days. We've hired external developers to develop games for us. One great example is that we're bringing Angry Birds to consoles, and that is being developed by Housemarque, who are legendary and excellent and awesome guys. I noticed that there are people in the audience as well. Cool. And other teams, Exian from the UK is working to bring a 3DS version of Angry Birds out, and also we work with publishers. We're working with Activision, who's publishing our console titles. But in addition to that, we're testing out other ways of approaching the generation of new IP, such as buying great games, and that is kind of the reason I'm here today. So, Amazing Alex. And this is the first game after Angry Birds that Rovio has put out, so not insignificant. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, because let's go one step back first to Casey's Contraptions. I'm kind of curious, how many in the audience have played this game? Hands up. Yes, 4 people. How many have played Amazing Alex? Hands up. More than 4. Excellent. No, that was kind of the whole point of the exercise, actually, in that so Casey's Contraptions is a title that was developed by 2 guys, Noel Lobis and Miguel Friginal. They had a really tight concept, a nice idea of what to do. They were in day jobs, but they quit them. Noel had done it before, but Miguel actually quit his job as a web programmer, no less, to be the artist on Casey's Contraptions. And I think that's quite awesome. In 8 months, what they were able to do is put together a concept of a game, start iterating on that, get feedback on that, get their friends and family involved on that, and just hone that tightly constructed concept into something that, when we saw it, we thought that is really, really excellent. We want that. And it was 2 guys 8 months, and I have a lot of respect for the guys. Well, first off, because they're awesome guys and awesome developers, but in addition to that, the fact that they quit their day jobs to make the kind of game they want. I think that shows a lot of guts, and I think they pulled it off super well. But the things, just to talk a bit about what we saw in the title, why we as Rovio decided to buy that IP and make that the next game after Angry Birds. First of all, it was a new take on an existing genre. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people here have played The Incredible Machine and some of the knockoffs that came after that. I know I did back in the day, to the exclusion of sleep and other secondarily important functions. That was a great game, and the genre just died out. But I feel that a lot of that has to do with the fact that booting it up on a computer, using your mouse, using your gamepad, they are not the best control devices for that. The guys, and rightly so, they sensed that the time was right to take that onto the touchscreen and the iPad specifically. That's where they launched the game, and really made the game, tailor-made the controls for the iPad. That is what we sort of saw there. There was a lot of polish in both the gameplay and the controls, and how they tackled an existing idea and brought it onto a new platform and really honed the package to near perfection. It was also, so in the end, I mean, what I saw was it was a good balance of innovation and kind of an homage to what is really a classic genre. And in addition to what the game represented, the thing that they didn't originally have there was the characters and all that. So what they did fairly late in development was add the seed of a great IP. Without having the character there, without having the whole concept of a little boy playing with their toys, it would not have been half the game that it is these days. If it, much like Angry Birds, had they not been birds who were angry and pigs who were kind of phlegmatic and laughing at you when you fail, it would have been half the game, and I don't think people would have been nearly as interested in either in that point. So after we saw the game, we knew we wanted it. So the traditional approach for a company, I guess, is to clone the crap out of it and then release it under your own name, possibly add a suffix to the name of the game. But instead, what we did is we called the guys up, said we want the IP, and went ahead and bought it. Later last year, Apple actually featured Casey's Contraptions in their Rewind 2011 list of best apps of the year. After we had bought Casey's Contraptions, well, Amazing Alex happened. Now you know where the start came from, but the next thing is, what did we do with the IP that we had bought? The first thing actually was, well, we had a character, but we really wanted to flesh out both the character and the background and the game world and get some meaning into there. Why is this kid building these? I can't go into a lot of the details here because we do have a plan of attack for revealing all this information with our with various products down the line. But the first thing was sitting down, doing a lot of concepting. We revised the graphics into more of a Rovio style so that it's more coherent with us having having Angry Birds and Amazing Alex stand side by side. Another thing was with the IP development, that work that we did, we really needed to make sure that we can that the IP will work across the multiple genres that we intend to take it to, the multiple media. And you've only seen the beginning, and unfortunately, Assembly 2012 is not where I'm going to be announcing the next titles that we have coming up or the next products that we're going to be doing. But rest assured, we're doing things with Amazing Alex. Another thing was, the game was made for iPad, which is excellent, however, not very portable. So what we did was we refactored the game onto our own technology. Thanks to having Angry Birds out on a lot of platforms, our technology is fairly portable, and there was there was a nice coincidence that they actually used the same physics engine that we does Box 2D, so that made it quite a bit easier. But due to this refactoring work, putting the game out on other platforms is going to be simpler for us down the line. We also, with the initial launch, we already tackled a couple of these platforms. So the game is now already out on Android devices and the iPhone, where it didn't used to be. We had to change the control scheme a bit to better fit the smaller screen, but it is out there. We also did a bunch of new content. There's about 30 new levels there. And in addition to that, the users have now done a whole lot of new content. In the game, you're able to build your own levels, your own puzzles, your own solutions, and share them with the world. Our servers have been red hot with that activity, so we're happy with that. But I think I'm saving sort of the most significant thing for the last in some sense. We were able to give the title a huge marketing push. Angry Birds and Rovio have a lot of awareness in the marketplace, but in addition to that, we were also we've been able to drive a lot of traffic to the game and advertise it heavily within our existing games. I think a lot of you may have seen our campaign for Angry Birds Space, where we had which was this huge one-shot thing where we had this a lot of partners and things. NASA, somebody up on the space station, Don Petit, having his wacky video about physics in Angry Birds and things like this. So, but with Alex, what we wanted to do was test our cross-promotional capabilities. So, how well can we drive traffic from Angry Birds and all the various Angry Birds titles to Amazing Alex? And that is something, of course. I mean, we knew we'd have some ability to do it, but well, I for one had butterflies in my stomach on launch day. But the good news for us was that we actually reached the #1 spot in the US App Store in record time. I'm told in 8 hours without featuring from Apple even. So that was huge for us, and that is kind of the logic why we felt that acquiring a game like this makes a lot of sense. Well, both for Noel and Miguel and for us as well. They were able to generate an excellent seed of a game. We were able to take it one step further. So the game has totally met our expectations. We have 65,000 user-generated levels in the first 3 weeks. So that's been huge for us. But the next thing for us, we're going to be updating Amazing Alex. You'll see a lot of new updates from us for the game. There's going to be new content. There's going to be a lot of new stuff. I'm not going to go into detail for that. But the other thing is, we will be looking for more games like Alex, more things that will be that are out there, and going to be hunting for them. And I think the thing that I sort of want to ask here is that, what are you guys going to be doing next? Because I really feel that assembly is kind of where it's all at, because this is where games like Casey's Contraptions start from. So I just sort of wanted to enlighten you a little bit about the story of how Noel and Miguel did this, and if there's any way I can encourage you guys to follow in their footsteps, please do, because it's well, I sat down for breakfast with Noel and Miguel at GDC, and those were two pretty happy developers. So really, but that's basically it for what I wanted to talk to you about Amazing Alex. I really want to hear some questions for you guys. I will not promise coherent answers, but please do. We have Mr. Microphone missing.
Yes,
no, there you go.
The microphone
Sorry.
is here. So questions? Okay, first one.
So, did you have an idea looking for IPs, or when you see the Contest Grand Prix, you think we must have this?
Sorry, can you come again?
Was the main thing to get the great IP, or it just came when you see Casey?
Oh, right. Well, the thing is, no, we were on the lookout for IP, definitely. We really wanted to have, but the thing is, we really wanted to have something that works on its own as a game and has the seed of an IP. We wouldn't do one without the other. An IP without a game as kind of a flagship thing is pretty worthless in this case. And the other thing, we've also looked at a lot of games, and this is actually something that I really want to, I'd like to drive home to people. We looked at a lot of games. We get pitched a bunch of games, and a lot of them, we get a lot that they have no room to expand. They might be fun to play. They might have, great mechanics. They may even be really, really engaging and, addictive. However, there's nowhere to go. If you're for us, because we are moving into an entertainment company, we don't have the luxury of putting a game out that has white blobs for its protagonists. So there needs to be some sort of element where a human can relate to and have that can transcend the genre and go past games. That is important to us. I don't know if that was even remotely to your question, but great. Other questions? More questions?
Hi. How many games had the two guys worked on previously before the Alex contract?
Yeah, very good question. So what did Noel and Miguel do? Noel has a track record of working in the industry for fairly long before he quit, and he had done free-to-play stuff previously. I don't know the exact games. I think he made one game on his own already before Casey's Contraptions, and Miguel was the one who quit his day job for this project. Miguel isn't strictly from the game business, but so Noel basically did the programming, Miguel did the art, and the game design apparently was 50-50. More questions, more. There you go.
Yeah, I don't need the microphone. I'm all about the marketing stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Just.
I don't need this. Well, whatever. I'm all about the marketing. So, do you have any examples on how you use this cross-promotional stuff? For example?
I wish I should have. The thing
But
is,
you're not.
no,
very
I
marketing guy.
thought that if I bring a lot of marketing material here, I'm going to get torn to bits
Yeah.
at assembly. So that's probably not the thing. We can talk afterwards. I'd love to talk a bit more about that.
Okay.
But we did have a lot. Basically, the game made a lot of appearances in our other games, and in addition to that, we did do a lot of traffic swap deals with various partners, and that's actually something that I urge people to do as well. But put a bunch of effort into that. Try to identify people who might have the same interests as what your product has, and more often than not, you'll notice that you can make various kinds of barters where no money changes hands. So certainly something to look out for.
For every question, we have toys and candy you can throw.
Next
Perfect.
question.
Okay, did we see in the future Alex theme parks or?
I really hope so.
Okay.
We don't. The theme park thing I don't think is closed yet. I really hope we will. We've certainly looked at the good things for us actually. Yeah. Well, the thing is, one of the non-obvious benefits from having Alex as a Rovio title is that we've actually got a human being now, as a character. It's surprising how many doors that thing opens on its own.
Yeah.
It's just I hear a lot of cursing of why don't those birds have hands and feet so that's definitely
Okay.
So yeah, I really hope we go all the way in various
Maybe
directions.
the next year,
That is possible. Yes.
Alex theme parks in Naantali.
Yeah, I really have to phone the city fathers of Naantali and just strike a deal.
Okay.
More questions. I'm going to start asking questions from you if you don't ask questions.
All right. For someone who's working on his first game, do you have any tips for those people?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, one of the things I've noticed, it's very often so important to whatever you're doing. First of all, iterate a lot and kill your ideas quickly if they're not panning out. And please be honest with yourself. Always validate your ideas with people you can trust. Try to identify people who are just trying to be, yeah, this is, oh, it's so good. Or, you know, if try to identify what are just plain, you know, compliments and what is actually excitement about your idea. Always, you should be open about the game. Try to find, I think IGDA is doing a great job. You can hook up with people there doing that. Even trying to get contacts with various people who can publish you. We get a lot of ideas thrown our way. We actually get feedback on them. You know, if it's not our thing, we do tell why we don't think it's our thing. I don't know what how many companies actually end up doing that, but well, just I mean, email me or whatever. But you can, but certainly show it around and don't get stuck up if something is not working. You know, you should really, I think, iterating and testing out new ideas is what it's all about. Other questions? More. I want more. I'm just going to stare at you if you don't. There we go. Perfect.
How was the process when you decided to purchase the case's contraption? Was it a long process? What happened when you called those guys?
That was so. It all started with an email. Well, we contacted them. It was. I wasn't there for the first part of the negotiation, so I was there for the latter part. But let's just say that lawyers exchange a lot of emails. So that's basically a lot of it is a lot of the process is actually defining what it is you're doing. It's so easy to say that, hey, I'm buying this. What is this? What is buying? Both of these terms are actually hard. So. For example, in this case, Noel and Miguel, their reason actually was they didn't want to have anything to do with the further development of Casey's contraptions, or rather Amazing Alex at that point, because they really they felt that their time as indies is really, it's the most precious thing they have. They really need to be working on their next thing if they ever intend to do that, not basically instead of half-assing two things, whole-assing one thing, and that's their next game. So because of that, we actually had to make the handover. There was a lot of detail that went into the handover because they had an existing live service which, you know, shared the levels, and there was a lot of marketing assets. There was an existing title in the App Store. These are non-trivial things with a lot of things that there was a lot of finding out on how to structure this before we could make it happen. But yeah, that was roughly it.
Thank you.
Oh, right, you get candy for asking questions. Did you know that? Seriously, I'm going to ask myself a question. No, there you go. Yep.
I just want to know about your background about before Rovio. What do you have done?
Oh, I've done mysterious things. I actually came to Rovio from Recall Games, where I was a producer, and before that, I was in the games media working for. I started in Microbit magazine in 1998, and from there on, I did a couple of different magazines, TV and such, and then decided that there's a limit to what you can do there, and wanted to be actually making the games that I was bad-mouthing for 8 years. My comeuppance has come, you know. It's now it's actually pretty funny because right now I'm actually starting to talk to journalists about another project we're doing, and it's scary.
Candy and questions.
Yeah, candy and questions. How often do you get given candy for asking a question? There we go. Yeah.
What was your most memorable moment of the development of Amazing Alex?
What was the most memorable moment? I don't know. The thing that springs to mind was that 1 hour and 8 minutes before launch, when they said that the servers aren't responding, I think that was the most memorable moment. However, that was quickly fixed. But for a moment there, not funny. I laugh now. Yeah, that was a memorable moment. There we go. There's that. Yep.
Yeah, why did you change the boy's name from Casey to Alex?
What a good question. Well, there's multiple reasons for that. Well, we felt well, we did feel that Alex was better for an international audience. The other thing is that we actually wanted to put a bit more focus onto the main character. The thing is, Casey's Contraptions is about contraptions and not just Casey. We wanted to have the title be just the lead character, and having because it's let's go to the Casey's Contraptions theme park is not cool, I guess. But yeah, that was part of the reasoning. More questions in the back.
Just a quick one. What does contraptions mean? Or could you translate that to Finnish?
Contraptions. Oh, great. That's yeah, that's a doohickey. That's so there isn't actually. I don't think there's a good Finnish word. So yeah, what? Härpäke, that's fine. The thing is, it's actually a Rube Goldberg device. This is something we discussed internally because a Rube Goldberg device is actually one of those things you may have seen like in Back to the Future, you know, where the that thing starts, like a chain reaction starts happening, and there's a British equivalent of that. If I'm not wrong, it's a Heath Robinson device. I was wondering if we in Finland could do Spede Pasanen device or something. It just sounded so inappropriate to me that the marketing guys poo-pooed it instantly. But hey, I tried. So we could have had Spede Pasanen devices if it were for me, but.
How much of an influence was the Incredible Machine on making Amazing Alex? And did you kind of draw from it, or did you have it in the back of your minds, or did you actually take parts?
Well, the thing is, the whole concept of the game actually came from Noel and Miguel, and I'm sure they were heavily influenced by having played the Incredible Machine in the 90s. So I'm sure that was something because I think a lot of people who played it back then have such fond memories of it, and a lot of people are kind of, feeling that should make a comeback. So I'm really happy that the touchscreen devices came along with such ubiquity so that everybody has access to, well, everybody, yeah, but a lot of people have access to that these days. So so the time just seemed right, and there is actually, the Incredible Machine is out on the iOS as well, but
oh, okay.
So, but it is a genre that was sort of waiting to come back, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure, it's a good game, so.
Yeah, I love them.
Thanks.
Okay, we have time for a few questions.
Yes. There's one in the back.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to ask, when is Amazing Alex gonna be on Nokia phones, like in the Ovi store? Because I haven't seen it yet.
That is a good question. I do not have a date for you. We are gonna have a Windows Phone version of it, and it is in the works as we speak. Our guys in our development team in Tampere is making sure it happens, but I can't give a date right now, on account of them not being able to give me a date.
I think it was the same case with Angry Birds. So, is Rovio discriminating Nokia users?
No, we try not to. It is. But it is something that we are doing, and we are doing it faster than we did with Angry Birds, where the Windows Phone version came out later. So it is a high priority for us.
One more. There.
You're making him run. That's great.
All right, it's me again. Thank you very much for coming here. I really appreciate you coming.
Cool.
I believe you have a tight schedule and you're here now, so thank you for that. But I also had one question about the Angry Birds development, because there's a myth going on in the internet that's about copying a very old game, and also Amazing Alex is sort of a copy. Or you're
right.
influenced by other games, so are you about to do something very original or do you have something that in mind for the future?
No, yeah, that is something I feel that any successful game developers often hear that, that are you doing anything original, because that mechanic was there and that thing was there, and also there was a bird back then and there was a pig in that game. And sure, I mean, yes, we all draw from the works of each other. There is no question about that. However, there is quite a distinct difference between cloning and plagiarizing something and actually taking good ideas from where they are and making them your own and adding something on top, whether it be large or small. But I don't think we do plagiarizing at all. And the thing is, I think a lot of really successful games, actually, when you think about it, are really, I wouldn't say derivative works. That is actually kind of a harsh thing to say. I think a lot of the best games are heavily influenced by others. People just hone things that are out there and try to make them perfect for the timing, for the platform, and for the sort of setting they chose for the game. And that's how you end up making good, tight games. It is a lot about the execution of how you do that.
Can I ask still one?
Yes.
It's a follow-up for this one.
Perfect.
Similar.
Yep.
And is Rovio going to be more like IPs now and like following up with those and marketing and such, or do they have their own development company working on their games, or are you going to
we're totally approaching it from both angles. So we're not doing
good.
IPs to the exclusion of prototyping new gameplay concepts, putting them out there. Definitely not. But what we are not doing is we're not making games that do not have an attached IP that we're building in parallel with it.
Okay.
If that answers your question.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Is that it? No more candy. Oh no. All right.
We do have candy.
Oh, we do have candy. Okay.
Still, something came to mind. Questions, couple of.
Oh, there's still time for more questions? Cool. I'm up for questions. Tough ones. Nah, easy ones. I'm really bad with tough questions.
I'll give you candy if you ask something.
I am. Jeez. Well, that is so hard.
Did we see the theme park next?
Yeah, exactly. If we had an Alex theme park, who would go? Yay.
Right, hi.
Hey.
So my question would be that, is it just about games? Because like you said, you're going into media more and more. So are you interested in other kind of platforms like personalized video, that kind of stuff as well? Or is it just about games?
Well, the thing is, because we are originally a game company, a lot of our IP ideas and our IP strength actually comes from us knowing games. So we do have a preference for working from games up, so that we have something that is an awesome idea as a game, but then that needs to be tied in with a concept that can actually transcend, games as a media. I know that we're nearing the territory where I'm saying a lot of words and not meaning anything, but I hope you guys kind of get the idea that it is not just about games, but games do come first when we think about new IP.
Yeah, all right.
It has to work with games. Let's put it that way.
Cheers.
Cool. Fantastic. Yes. Angry Birds movie. Now that's interesting.
Last year there was a huge rumor going around that Rovio is taking lots of animators and 3D modelers, and you have taken lots of those.
Yes.
And you have your film company almost set up. So when the movie is going out?
I love rumors. Yeah, I wish I had anything to answer to that question. Yeah, I hear a lot of rumors too. Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm really bad at tough questions.
No sweat. It was just a rumor.
I'm actually sweating heavily because of the lamp, not you, no worry.
Well, I actually have two questions. My first one would be, well, considering that Rovio have established themselves as a more of a, let's call it, casual-friendly game company, and all your games so far seem to be centered around this minimalistic, very intuitive interactions. Do you have some sort of a, let's call it, basic design paradigm that you're always following when beginning the development of a process, like basically setting a limit of how many interactions there should be considering the touchscreen? I'm asking from an entirely design perspective, are you following some sort of a golden principle of simplicity, basically?
Interesting. No, yeah, simplicity is, well, yeah, it bears to be said, yeah, that simplicity is something that it takes a lot of work to make something simple. So that, yes, we do put a tremendous amount of effort into that. That it is true. And that is certainly a design driver for us, so to speak. So we do need our games to be very intuitive, and they need to be very approachable. And what you said kind of comes with the territory.
But you don't have like, well, for example, Apple are following such a philosophy in their app to never include more than 4 elements in their interface to draw attention.
We don't have numeric sort of constraints.
Okay.
No, we don't have that.
Okay, and my second question is, after such amazing products as the Angry Birds fruit drink, Angry Birds candy, Angry Birds counting book, Angry Birds headphones, Angry Birds speakers, what can you tell us about the next amazing Angry Birds products that you're planning?
I wonder.
You know, just something crazy that you've been discussing.
The thing is, I seriously wonder what I can, because every now and then I have to go to a legal department, I have to walk through the merchandising guys, and they have all their product samples of things that might never see the light of day. And to tell you the truth, I'm a bit scared to walk in there, because some of the stuff is just weird and strange and madness. I do not know what they'll bring out next.
So you're not cloning real Angry Birds yet, or anything like that?
Oh my God, what a night. Can I copyright that? That's a really... Perfect. Let's go for that. Cloning real Angry Birds. But how do you make them angry is the question. More questions still. There's a lot of time. Is there? There's no time. Oh, crap. What was a good try?
Okay, I think it's a good time to wrap this up. So, thank you, may I say, probably the sweetest presentation today.
I love bribing the crowd.
And well, okay, big thanks and big hand.
Thanks, guys.